this because this is big. What I'm getting ready to tell you is it's big. So I already introduced the marketing management agreement with personal injury. So in other words, I said, hey, get multiple offices in your county, because remember, when you sell the attorneys, they have other places. There's many reasons to do it. Number one is you'll capture those other, if you do a marketing management agreement with another doctor, have him process your patient with your standards, your checklist of standards, okay? And they use your software, okay? That's what we're doing. You can't have 20 different people throw in all their shit. So you get them to agree, okay, here, just this is the documentation we need. Here's the checklist. Well, that's not too damn difficult to do. Okay, if you got any kind of a team player at all, that's not difficult at all. And that's all they do. They just got to do the consultation, do the exam, order. Okay, you get the point. And in my scenario, I'm giving them 70%. Follow the math. With the exception of the diagnostics, I keep 100% of the diagnostics. What are the diagnostics that we do? I'll do CRMA, I'll do Dynarom, and I'm going to do JTEC. That's easily $300 a pop. Most of those are more than $300 each. And they're typically done twice, on the initial exam and at the end. But let's just say you're only going to do them once and they're $300. Okay, so let's keep it simple. So that's roughly $900. Just round it to 1,000. Okay, here's the point. And you can use your numbers of cases and all that kind of stuff. So just scale it to where you're at with your math. Here, the average case is a little higher. It's around 5,000. The lowest states that I've seen is typically around 2,500. Here, it's typically 5,000. An average low impact soft tissue spinal injury case. Average, not high, not low. Just, okay. So you do the math with wherever you're at. I give them 70%. Now I got to give them something to make it worth their while. Well, they're getting 70% of $5,000. They're getting $3,500. I'm handing them $3,500. Now, I'm also, because remember, that attorney wants me. When I sell that attorney, he wants me. He wants me. He doesn't want AI. He doesn't want that guy. He wants me. Okay, that's what happens when you sell the attorney. When you actually do the system and sell the attorney, that's why they ask you to be the expert witness. And and I'll connect. I could go on for this because there's so much growth opportunity in everything we do. If you just follow a damn blueprint and move on it, it's amazing. There's way more damn business. But this is unbelievable leveraged business, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about passive income business, you're not spending more time and money. I'm talking about leveraging your time and knowledge and money. So I'll use the analogy. I just gave a personal injury presentation to 2 attorneys a couple months ago for some clients of mine. And they averaged 25 PI cases a month. So let's use them as an example, which was pretty high. That was $1 million a year. One presentation. So we sold those for the referrals. One presentation sold $1 million. So now they want my guys, my 2 clients I did it for. Okay. So they want what's the problem that they got now? They only have 2 locations. So I told my guys, I said, go out into the other surrounding areas of your county, in these other major pockets, and get a chiropractor there to be a co-marketing management a chiropractor. In other words, you refer him the PI case. This is not a kickback because it's co-management. You refer him, you work with the case together, but they're doing all the physical stuff. They're doing the 3 times a week, twice a week, once a week, adjusting, all that you can't do. You give them 70%, and in other words, it's got to be worth their while. When I offered 50, I got no bites. When I went to 70, I just did 10 chiropractors in the last 3 days, signed up 11 chiropractors. One chiropractor had 5 offices. I signed all 5 of them up. I now have 11 offices in my county. Now, I don't have any brick and mortar. I don't have but when I go to the attorney, I show up and I go, I have 11 offices throughout the county. See, that's the power also when you have multiple offices. That's when you go after the bigger boys because they don't want to play with the mom and pop guy. And I say this all the time in personal injury. You got to have multiple offices to go after the bigger guys, the trial lawyers and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, having said that, let me remove this real quick. Okay. So having said that, I need to shorten this down. It's been so damn exciting what's going on right now with this. So anyway, and I know that I had 9 offices in Louisville. I knew the power. You know, I called the attorney, say, "Hey, we want to introduce her." So they say, "You tell me when and where." That was the reception I got when I said, "Yeah, we have 9 offices. We do 30,000 patient visits a year." Or they're not dealing with numbnuts. Okay. Okay. So as an example, so I just got 11 offices throughout the county. I'm like, I'm good to go. I figured I need a minimum of 15. I need 15 strategically for my county. I'm at 11. I'm good to go. By the way, it just totally depends on where you're at, but you can still do this if there's only 3 major cities in your county, like say you're in a rural area and there's only 3 major cities in the county. Well, 3 is better than 1, and now you own the county. So anyway, here's the math. $5,000 a case. Now, how much was I going to get of that? 0. I was going to get 0 of that money. So now instead of getting 0, I'm getting 100% of my attorney referral. I'm getting all their cases now, not just the ones that are in my backyard. You know how many less attorneys I need now to refer to me? When like that, those 2 attorneys right there, that was 25 cases a month. That was $1 million. And I even walked out of that seminar and I told those 2 guys, I'd get a damn shuttle bus before I walked away from those 2 people. I'd hire an associate doctor and have a damn mobile shuttle bus. You got $1 million we just created. But these offices with documentation, they're already there. I just need team players to follow my documentation. That's all I need. They get 70%. I get 30. You go, well, $1,500. Well, still, I'd rather have $1,500 than nothing. Plus the power of me showing up saying I have 11 offices. If there's nothing else known and I show up with 11 offices and you come in and you go, I got 1, I just beat the shit out of you with that alone relative to in the eyes of that attorney. I'm the player, not you. And I haven't even opened my mouth yet. But I'm keeping 100% of the diagnostics. 100%. Well, that's another $1,000 easy if it's only done once. So for that case, it's $2,500 passive income. Do the math. 10 PI cases, $25,000 a month, $300,000 a year, passive income. Passive income. Now you go, well, who's going to do the diagnostics? Well, if you have your own office, they'll come to you. Remember, a patient will drive further. They'll drive up to an hour for an important test. They won't do that 3 times a week. But if you have your own practice, just have them come to you for the diagnostic test. That's it. Have your staff member do it. Pay your staff member for $50 for every test they do. So instead of you making $350 for the test, you made $300. 10. You only need, in this dynamic, I only need 10 cases a month. You know how ridiculously easy that is? I just got 25 from doing 1 presentation. 10. $30 million a year. Passive. You know what kind of overhead I got? What do they cost for the CRMA software? Less than $10,000. What did it cost for the Dynarom? Less than $10,000. What did it cost for the JTech? Less than $10,000. Pick up all that equipment, even if you just lease it, not buy it, you're talking probably $200, $400, $600, maybe $600, $700 in total leases. 1 case. 1 case and it's profit. All those leases are profitable with 1 case. So I've got less than $20,000 in equipment, 30 cases a month, 30, that's it, $30 million a year. Passive income. What's my overhead? 5% on $1 million. Passive, I got shit for overhead. This is huge. I pay a hell of a lot of attention to that video. I go into a lot more greater detail with that. This is blowing personal injury out of the sky. Yeah, we're not, it's great to have 5 or 10 cases come to your office. That's great. And you want to do that. But let me tell you, I'd rather make $300,000 passive income with a 10% or 5% overhead than $1 million busting my ass for a 50% overhead. Do the math, do the numbers, do the energy, do the time.